Okay. For page setup, on the page layout tab, excuse me, which is the fourth tab in, to change the actual setup, which is how it's viewed, the margins, the orientation of the page, whether it's going up and down, which is portrait, or sideways, which is landscape. You can also change the paper size, whether it's a legal size sheet or a letter size sheet. With the page setup, that is really going to be your go-to for formatting your actual page. And as you can see from the ribbon, on the ribbon itself, you can change the margin, you can change the orientation, size, columns, the line numbers, breaks. But if you want to go to the actual pop-up window for the page setup, there's a little arrow in the corner of that grouping. You click on that, and the page setup dialog box will pop up for you. And that's where you can switch between the different internal tabs to change the margins, the page setup, or the layout. So this is something you will be using a lot because, like I said, each instructor tends to want their papers formatted in a different way. Okay, now part of this, and I know that unfortunately the picture's kind of small, changing the page orientation within a document. Sometimes in a document you need to change how the page looks to change it from actually portrait to landscape. In order to do that, you have to create a section so that the document itself knows that only this page needs to be changed. So in order to do that, you're going to go again to the page layout. You're going to put your mouse at the beginning of where you want that document to change. You're going to go to the page layout and you're going to click breaks. Okay? And it's going to have a drop-down menu, and it's going to have like section break, column break. You want to choose under section breaks, new page. And what that will do is it will tell the document, okay, that something different about this section, something's going to be different. Now you're going to move the insertion port at the end of the text. So if you're in the process of actually creating the document, once you get done with whatever that page is that you need to change, you want to create another page because you're wanting the system to know that just this one page is what you want changed. Okay? So at the end of that information that's going to be on that one different page, that's where you want to insert the same kind of break. So you're going to go through the process of going to the page layout, hit break, section break, new page. Okay? So once you've done that, the document actually then thinks you have 3 separate sections of that document. And it's very behind the scenes, very invisible. It really, at this point, there's no change in your document. To change the layout, the page layout, you would click on that new section, and you would go to the page layout again, and that's where you would click on orientation and change it to landscape. And that would be primarily when we do that is, say if we're adding a large chart to a document for a class that needs to be wider than it is tall, and that's why you need to change the landscape. And by doing that, it's only going to apply to that one section. Okay? This is another important thing. for papers that you're going to be doing, adding a header or a footer. Most papers that you have that are longer than one page, instructors will sometimes ask you to add page numbers or have the title in small letters in the header. In order to do this, it's pretty easy. You're going to go to the Insert tab, and if you look on this page, it's actually the tab before Page Layout. So you're going to go to the Insert tab, to the header group, and this is a preview of what the header group is. All it consists of is header, footer, and page number. In this grouping, they do have some pre-designed headers and footers, so that way, so it comes up a little fancier. For myself, though, it tends to kind of throw off the formatting of the page. So in order to edit it so that it's exactly how you want it, you're going to hit the header down button, and you're going to click Edit Header, or in the other case, Edit Footer. And then you can insert whatever information that you need, page number, title, date. Sometimes you'll need to add the date to it. So this will also be where you have the option of changing it so that the first page is different from the rest of the document. On papers, large papers, you will have an actual title page, and on those pages you don't want your page number to show up or the tiny title, so you actually want that to be different from the rest of your document. And you would actually change that the same way that you would do this. You would go into the Insert tab, go to the header and footer group, and click either the header or the footer, whichever one, and you're going to hit Options, and there will be a button that says Different First Page. With that, you're going to check it, and by doing that, it will create a separate header footer for that first page. To change, if there's an existing header footer and you want to change it, again, you go into the Insert tab, go to the header footer group, and click either the header footer and edit. There's also the option there to actually remove it if need be, and it will remove it for the whole document. Now, font. Font can get really creative in your documents. You can get it as fancy or as simple as possible. To change your font, you have a couple of different options. You can go to the home page, to the font grouping, and as you can see with the font grouping, you can change the style, the size. The large A next to the number, that actually increases the size of the font, where the icon next to that decreases the font. You can bold, italicize, and underline. The other option is to actually click Control-D on your keyboard, and that will get you to the font dialog box. Or you can click the little arrow at the bottom corner of the font grouping, and that will also get you to the font dialog box. Okay. Now, drop and drag. There's two ways to move text around into a document. You can drag and drop, which is you've selected the desired text that you want to move. You click and hold your left mouse button, and you move your text to your desired location, and you release the button. So as you can see, I've highlighted this section and actually moved it from the last of that paragraph to the first by just dragging and dropping. Now the other is cut and paste. Cut and paste is your friend. I use this every day, and you will learn that using the shortcut menu, the shortcut keys is faster than actually right-clicking on your mouse to get that small menu. And again, it's just highlighting the text, either clicking the cut icon or clicking Control X on your keyboard. To paste, where the location where you want the new text, you move to where you move your mouse where you want it to go, and you do Control V, or you click the paste icon. Part of the cut and paste process is when you're cutting text from one location or even copying it, it goes on to what we call the clipboard. And basically it's the program's way of holding the selected text, and it will actually hold up to 24 different selections. So that, you know, if you need to copy and paste something several times, you can actually do that using the clipboard. And there is a clipboard icon that looks similar to this clip art here. Now, if you try to hold more than 24 items in the clipboard, it will start deleting the first one that you put on there, because it can only hold 24. Now, say you've made a mistake, or you've added something or deleted something that you didn't want to delete in the first place. Control Z is your undo shortcut, or there's actually, in your quick access menu at the top, there is like a sweeping back arrow. That is your undo. When you have multiple things that you've done that you can have the possibility of undoing, there will actually be a little drop down menu arrow next to that. That means you can undo multiple items at one time. The other option is, say you've undone something and you want to redo it because you've deleted it by accident. You do Control Y and it will redo that action. You can also do the redo button, which is always next to your undone button. Again, if there's multiple things that you need to redo, there will be a down arrow that you can click on, and it will show you the actions that you've previously undone that you can redo. So there's no need to panic if you make a mistake and delete something that you didn't want to, because you can always undo it or redo it if you need to. The only time that this does not work is if you undo something and save. Once you save, it becomes a new original document, and all of the undos and redos get cleared off. But again, remember, always save your work and save often.